Uh, Hi there. So in this video, I'm going to go over how do we, uh, now that we have the URLs that we should be linking to, and we know the source URLs where we should be adding those links from, and we also know our anchors that we should be using. Now we're going to actually go into our website to add the anchors and the internal links that should be there. So the way this is set up, just a quick description again on the columns, destination URLs. So that's the URL that these pages should be linking to. Page title is pretty much the same since the destination URL is the same. And then the source URLs is the page that's linking to the destination URL. And so as you can see, this particular page, there's 15 pages or URLs that should be linking to it, but aren't at the moment. So just to keep this video short, I'm only going to do the first three here. And the way that the primary anchors and the rest of the columns work is pretty much you're going to go through and check if this text is already included in that content on the page. So the way it works, if the primary anchor is there, great, use that as the anchor text and link to the destination page. If not, then move on to the alternative anchor one. Same process. If it's there, use that as the anchor text. If not, move on to anchor two. If it's there, and so forth. And really, you should only be using or linking to the page once. So if the primary anchor text is included in the content, then add the link there and then move on to the next row. Okay. Now, special thing to remember about if you get to alternative anchor 4 or 5 is that one, these should be added as a separate section at the bottom of the content. And I'll get into that a bit here in a minute. But I don't want for us, if let's say for any of these or none of these where the primary anchor, anchor 1, anchor 2, anchor 3, they're not there. If those aren't there, then, by default, we're going to use anchor 4, anchor 5, but we should be switching between the two. So for instance, if for the first row here, we use alternative anchor 4, and then we get to the second row, and if none of those anchors are there, I don't want to use anchor 4 again, I want to use anchor 5. That way we can kind of just keep the anchor text mix going and not using one anchor text for every single internal link. So with that said, let's go in and let's start looking at some of these URLs and adding the anchor text. So I've already opened the first one here, and let's make this a separate window so we can go back and forth easier. Okay. So what you want to do here is basically, if you're using WordPress or most other website platforms should have the ability to do a control and find. We want to just do a search for this particular anchor text, and we see that it's not there. So basically, we're searching this text for that anchor. Okay. Now, so we saw that the primary anchor isn't there, so we're going to do restoration marketing. So we do see that restoration marketing is there. So let's use that as our anchor text. So again, our URL, going there. Insert link. Go here to click the little gear icon. Open link in new tab. Add the link. And by default, it should make this a do follow link, but let's just make sure. Okay. Yep. So just a quick thing to remember, if it is using no follow, it's actually going to specify that. So we look no follow, attribute for a link. I'm just looking for an example to show you. Okay. Yep. So if we wanted to do no follow, then we'll add this little guy here. Relevance equal no follow. There you go. All right. So after that, go ahead and add a column here. It says anchor text added. Yes, no. And then we just put yes since we just added that anchor. Okay. All right. So going back to where we were. So we've already added the anchor. Let's see where it was at. It's toward the top of the page. Let's just do another. Okay. So let's update. Okay. So now that it's updated, let's refresh. Again, let's try to find it here on the page. Yep. So we see here, and let's just click the link to make sure it goes to where it should go. Yep, and it looks like it goes to the right page. So great. Okay. And then I'll also add another column here, submitted to Google Search Console. It's also yes or no. Search Console, yes or no. And basically, the reason why we want to submit the URL to Google Search Console is so that those changes that we just made are reflected and indexed as quickly as possible. So I'll actually create a separate video where we go over this step. Now, moving on to our second page. So we're all good there. Moving on to our second page. Okay. So again, same process. So let's search for restoration digital marketing on this page. Nope. Okay, anchor, alternative anchor 1, restoration marketing. It doesn't really matter. I would prefer that we use the option that's highest up on the page. So let's go ahead and add our link here. Link a new tab. Boom. Oh wait, I think we used the wrong URL here. So I just gotta check your work. Okay. Looks like it's still loading. try this again with the right URL. That's the right URL. Okay, great. Okay. Update. Okay, still saving. Okay. So once we've done that, okay, pages have been updated. Let's go back to the front end so we can verify that it's going to the right link. Okay, we click. Great. So that looks good. So now to our third link, and just for so those who are watching have the example, I'm going to skip and assume that these different anchors aren't here in the text. I just want to make sure we go over how to proceed if we have an anchor 4, anchor 5 situation. So in this case, I'm going to go all the way to the bottom of the page, all the way to the bottom of the content. And we want to add read more. And then let's just say we were using anchor 4. We would just add this here. Start a bulleted list. It might just be best to type it. Read more about restoration, digital marketing. Okay. And let's just say, okay, and then just to show you the rest of this, then we'll just use, just highlight the entire thing, insert link, open link in new tab, and then add link. And then update. Okay. Now let's just check our front end to make sure it looks okay. Okay. So go to the right page. It does. Great. That's pretty much how it will work if you're using alternative anchor 4 or 5. Now let's just say, we were using anchor 5 instead. Just for the sake of this example, instead of it being read more about restoration digital marketing, it would be read about digital marketing for restoration companies. And there you go. It's same, highlight the entire text, and then link it to our destination URL in column A. But since we already have it here, I'm going to go ahead and see what we have there for now. That's pretty much it as far as adding the different anchors for the different URLs. Thanks.